Okay, moving on. Our next question, this is a big one. It is official. Rodney Eade will coach the Gold Coast Suns in 2015 after Collingwood agreed to release their head of football this afternoon. Eade is a four-time premiership player at Hawthorn, coached the Sydney Swans and Western Bulldogs for more than 300 games put together. His challenge at the Suns will be, of course, to repeat his accomplishments at the Bulldogs to turn a young team into regular premiership contenders. Can he do it? That's the big question. Not going to ask anyone here on the panel. Let's go straight to the man himself, who will be unveiled tomorrow up on the Gold Coast, but he's here in our studio now. Let's welcome Rodney Eade, new coach.
Do you specify that you always enter to an Elton John song? Is that part of your rider?
Yes. At home when I walk in the door. That's right, it's playing.
Rodney, congratulations on the appointment, and we are so lucky to have you here tonight before you're unveiled tomorrow. You've had a few years out of the head coaching job. Why? Why did you decide to do it?
Yeah, good question. Because the 3 years I've been very happy at Collingwood, and certainly the last 12 months or so my new role has been fantastic. There's a great club, and I thought my time as coaching had gone, and I suppose I'd reconciled that. And it was but I think it's such a unique opportunity. And now I'd heard some rumours that the Suns were going to talk to me, but I didn't really actually light the flame. That was fine. And then it happened so quickly. On Friday, they phoned, met some people on the Sunday, met the coaching panel Monday morning at 7 o'clock, clandestine, with a car and sneak in the back door. And yeah, I think apart from the exciting list, I think they sold the club as being set up the right way. The culture of the club seems very good for a team that's only been going 4 or 5 years, and I think there's a good bunch of young players, and I think it was just too big an opportunity to miss up.
That sounds like they were selling it to you. Did you have to sell your vision to them?
Oh,
because
yeah, very much so, yeah.
We hear of the modern coaching situation where you have to go on a 6-hour game plan and you're going to do this and that. Did you have to go all through all that, Rodney, or did you just...
Yeah, I'd be disappointed if they didn't do that, because that I might have been top of their list, say, and if they just offered me the job, well, they don't really know me. I mean, there's obviously stories I'd heard and some people there who might know me, but I'd certainly like to think they'd ask the right questions, and which they did. It went for 2.5 hours, which was good.
You're a passionate man in the coaching box, and you are certainly able to give your players a bit of a touch-up if they're not doing the right thing, Rodney, in the past.
I like Cam, you have to be direct.
Absolutely.
There's no good beating around the bush.
Do you have to change that with a younger group or not?
I think it's the way it's delivered and when. I think certainly in the box, probably, and you see some coaches today, because it's quite invasive there. And I think a lot of the times the coaches aren't getting upset at the players. It's an act that happens in the game, or it's an umpiring decision, or it's, something's gone wrong in the game. I don't think it's actually directed at a player, but unfortunately it gets caught up a bit. But I think you actually treat players with the respect. Your education rules the way you go about it. The standards, as Cam said before, and if people don't uphold those standards, you educate. But if they can't actually deliver on that, well, that's the time that you talk about their effort and the way they go about it.
Rodney, it's obviously a big deal that you're coming back, and I know that you've put a lot of thought into whether or not this is the right thing for you, and I think we can all agree that you are at your happiest when you're coaching, and in fact I put a little montage together for you just to remind you of just how happy you can be as a coach. Let's have a look.
Thanks, Sam, I really appreciate it.
Now keep watching till the end, it gets better.
I was actually watching the races and the horse wasn't getting up, so...
Look at this with the phone. This really concerns me. Number one, why do they have phones from 1972 in the boxes?
That's all we can afford.
You know, well, that's it. You know who's nervous? The guy who has to replace the phones that you obviously damaged in the box. Can you promise us that you will not damage any phones this season coming up?
Promise you. And there was only ever one at Sydney, but they actually got replayed a lot. But it was a very light phone. It wasn't an industrial phone. I need an industrial phone. No, they'll be fine,
The problem is if you're on an iPhone, it's really hard to hang up aggressively on an iPhone. You have to go, where is it? Where is it? End call. Got it.
You can shout at the glass.
Rodney, what do you see as your greatest challenge going to the Suns as obviously the new coach? Is it transforming the young group into seasoned players, guys that understand what it takes to win a premiership, or is it the whole Gary Ablett factor? Playing with him, playing without him, can the boys win without him? Because we've seen results in the past where maybe it is a mindset that they can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about a mindset. I don't know the players well enough, but they are a really young squad, or have been a young squad. I think they're at a good age profile now and a good games profile. I think that's part of the trick, is that hopefully to build that we don't have to rely on Gary.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit like the Michael Jordan factor, that for him to be an even greater player is to actually help those players to come up and
That's right.
whether it's win championships or whatever the case may be. But I think he's got to obviously share the load, but the players got to grab that. I think if the club relies on one particular player, whoever that is, whatever sport you play, I don't think you're going to be successful.
That's right.
And now there's more like in basketball. You talk about 5 players. Michael Jordan then had to change his style to get the team up. So I think his standards have been absolutely incredible. And I still think he's got 4 or 5 good years of footy in him. But if he can help, and we can spread the load and help those players come up, I think there's more chance of success.
And what about being just the second ever coach at this club in its, I suppose, second stage or next stage, a very important one where things are expected to happen with the Suns being just on the cusp of finals, I guess. Do you feel that responsibility? Is that something that's special to you?
I don't know if it's special, but it's certainly, I think if you coach any side, whether you're coaching a bottom team or you coach a premiership team and every team in between, I think there's expectation and pressure that comes with that. There's Alan Richardson at St Kilda who's done a terrific job, I think, with the kids that they've got there, but there's going to be expectation internally that they're going to improve, and they're the bottom side. There's certainly going to be expectations at the Suns. There's going to be expectations at Hawthorn who've won a premiership, so the standards have set that they want to do that again. So that's, I don't think that's a concern. I think it's more about the development of the players who are in that profile now to be able to take that next step to become very good players, rather than just be players that are touted as young. And I think when you're touted as a young player, there's always a crutch for you. There's always a release valve. I think it's now being able to educate and teach these players to take some responsibility.
Very quickly, everything okay at Collingwood? Eddie said he wanted compensation for you. Everything okay?
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Ed texted me today, so that was
all
fine.
good.
Everything's
okay.
sweet. No worries at all.